Sup guys, Ovodoff here, and in today's video I want to talk about Credit Suisse bank problems and kind of separate fact from the facts. Because today I woke up and I see all sorts of titles in my feed like Credit Suisse collapsing, contagion spreading to Europe, Saudi's national banks not gonna support Credit Suisse further. We had a pretty big drop in the stock price, around 25%, bonds were down, credit default swaps went through the roof, which basically people were protecting themselves against the possibility of the bank going down. Then I started searching from where it's all originated, what was the cause, and it seemed like the main cause was the phrase of the Saudi National Bank chairman given to one of the questions about whether or not they were planning to add more holdings in Credit Suisse. And the answer to that was, and I quote here, "Absolutely not, for many reasons. I'll cite the simplest reason, which is regulatory statutory. We now own 9.8% of the bank, and if we go above 10%, all kinds of new rules kick in. Whether it be by our regulator or the European regulator or the Swiss regulator, and we are not inclined to get into the new regulatory regime." So I don't see any shocking or groundbreaking here, but media kind of spins it in a lot of ways, and titles like the biggest shareholder is not gonna support the bank, they're not gonna help the bank, all kinds of that. Like, what it has to do with the support and the help, I don't personally know. But I think the whole situation shows that in the banking sector, everything now has a short fuse when it comes to bad news. If we get good news, it has a very long fuse, doesn't matter. But when we have bad news, it can spread really fast, the media picks it up, it can create panic, a sell-off creates more panic, and it's an endless circle. Like, whether or not, in this particular case, whether or not the Credit Suisse will be collapsing or not, like, this is not the point here. We already knew that they lost 7 billion last year. We already knew that in fourth quarter alone of 2022, more than 100 billion of assets was moved from the bank by the investors. So this is nothing new. The bank is not doing so hot. It is a very big bank, yes. They currently hold, I think it's around 1.5 trillion still in assets, but they're not doing very well. So why did before that none of that facts matter? And like, now everything's being brought here, okay, the bank is collapsing. But that's just the reality of the current situation, in my opinion. Because every bad piece of news about any bank, whether or not they will have the actual effect on the bank and its customers, and it's gonna be picked up, and people will be wondering whether or not this is gonna be another bank that's going down. Because Silvergate, SVB, Signature, it's only the tip of the iceberg, and we're definitely gonna see more banks with the problems. Especially because now, because of this panic, people are moving their assets from the small regional banks that they deem more risky, and rightfully so, they're moving them into the top 10 biggest banks. I mean, I'm talking about US now, but if that happens globally and in other parts of the world, we're gonna see the same things basically. Okay, that's all I wanted to cover in this particular video. Please drop a like and subscribe, and I'll see you soon.